what's up? It's Kev with Atmosphere FC, and in today's video, I'll be interviewing Salvadorian superstar Richi Menjivar. In this episode, we'll be discussing his journey through the American system, the value of American players in the USL, his time with the Salvadorian national team, and his college process. Welcome, bro. How you doing? How you feeling?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. I'm doing well. Excited. Have some good soccer talk.
I hear you, man. Congrats on your new son. Congrats to to you and your wife.
Thank you. Yeah, it's 5 months now. It's going
Man,
fast.
I hear you, man. Your mom, your sisters must be so happy, man. Do your sisters
Yeah,
have kids? Does Elba have
yeah.
kids?
Elba has two kids actually. She
Wow.
just had a boy like a month and a half older than my son.
How about
Yeah,
Ingrid?
Ingrid has a daughter. Yeah, she's actually here. She's visiting from Atlanta.
Dope.
Because they moved out there. And then my oldest Stephanie, I don't know if you've met her. She doesn't have kids yet, but yeah.
Mm,
And I have a half sister who has two kids.
I hear you, man. Big family, big Salvadorian family.
Uh huh.
Um, this is a special one for me, bro. Not only I feel like for the sake of this podcast and like the growth of the platform, I wanted to start close to home. You know, I've been talking to a lot of people from Southern California, people I've played with, people I've gone to college with, but I've known you, bro, since I was 10 years old. Not only that, but we're both Salvadorian. You know, I don't think I get enough credit for how Salvadorian I am. So the fact that I get to talk to you and you've been on the national team and your career has been stellar, man. It means a lot for me in this platform. So thank you, bro.
Thank you, man. I'm excited to be here.
I hear you, man. So yeah, man, you're from Panorama City, Southern California. We actually played for the same club team. We weren't. I was a year older, but we both played under Sharif Zine for FC Barcelona. And I remember your team was ridiculous, man. You guys won state champs back to back to back.
Hmm.
Paul Walker, man, it was a great group of guys. But for me, my earliest memories of soccer, Sharif Zine, who's an absolute legend, who's an absolute, coach master. I till this day, he's probably the closest thing I have to a father figure, bro. Like I still
Oh,
talk to him to this day. I reached out to him. I'm gonna have him on the podcast. I'm gonna pull up on him in person because he's a character, bro.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we're definitely gonna. His story needs to be documented because so
yeah,
many people started with him, and he's put so many people in the league.
yeah.
And not only does he need his recognition, but like people need to know that there's so much talent, and if it's brewed under someone that knows what they're doing, we're going to be able to put kids in the pros.
Yeah.
So man, can
Love
we
it.
talk about the experience of Sharif? How did you end up there? Like what do you remember from those club days?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing like Sunday league with my dad's team, and then we had, I don't know if you remember Pajarito Edgar.
Bro, yeah, I remember him, bro.
Yeah,
He was a national team player in residency, number one
yes,
most recruited player, bro. He was older than me and you. Yeah.
yeah. So somehow he ended up in like our Sunday league team,
Uh-huh.
and then his dad talked to my dad. He's like, hey, like Pajarito's playing, in this club team. You should take your son out. And I was like, they were like, yeah, cool. And then sure enough, I joined. I joined the under nines at that time. You were always older than me.
Yeah.
Pajarito was under 11 at that time. And yeah, I mean, I just remember Sharif's training session. I feel like compared to all the coaches I've had, he develops technique better than anyone I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Just he develops players so technical, so skillful, very crafty on the ball, very creative, clever. And I just remember doing a lot of those and a lot of like 1v1s, which I felt like helps like tremendously. A lot of 1v1s, like full field, where we would like kill each other, try to win those games. Sometimes we'd be so tired, we'd be walking, but yeah. And then like it was always competitive, where losers had to do like push-ups and sit-ups and stuff like that. So you never wanted to lose. And yeah, I remember everyone would kill themselves in practice trying to like become better.
Yeah, man. He's Egyptian, African, he's been all over the world, man. And he's it's crazy that me and you started at the same time as Sharif because I was under 10. I was one of the later kids that joined the group. But
Yeah.
what you're saying, it's so true. He focuses on touches on the ball, being creative, taking people on, being ruthless, bro. And I remember, I come from a Hispanic, we're both Salvadorian, and our household is strict. So my parents saw how strict Sharif was, and he was like, "That my kid needs to play
Yeah.
for that guy."
Yeah.
And like you said, it was very competitive. We had girls team, he has the older teams, the younger teams, and
They
there
were
was
all
great,
winners.
all winners, bro.
All winners,
I
yeah.
from our group, I would say if there was 60 kids on that, probably like half of those play D1 or are in the pros from our age, bro. Think about it. Pajarito, Eder, Pablo, you,
Pablito, Jesus.
Jesus,
Yeah.
Cesar Barajas, Rafa Baca, like, bro, they've
Yeah.
all gone through Sharif. And that's why, his story and his like philosophies need to be documented and recorded. So, man, shout out to
Yeah.
Sharif Zine, because like you said, I'm a taller player. When I showed up to Sharif, I was taller than everybody. I was technical. I did not know how to dribble. I just had a shot.
Yeah.
And like after a year being with him, I could dribble past players, and I became the player who I grew up to be because of Sharif. I was, kind of more defensive minded because of the way I was trained with Sharif. I became a creative player, and I was able to, kind of be more of
Yeah.
attacking player.
More complete player.
Yeah, man, and it goes to the training of Sharif and all the 1v1s and him being in your ear, and if you
Yeah.
mess up, being in your ear. But
Uh,
he also gave you that passion and made you realize how important being on time is,
yeah.
being a punctual person is, but also being dressing the part and being professional. Our
Yeah.
kit was always dope.
Yep.
An hour before training, if you were late, you had to run. I remember one time I was late, and at that time you have no control of how,
Yeah.
traffic, your
Yeah.
parents, and the funny, like I think about this all the time. Whenever someone would be late and we would be like in the session, he would say 5 laps. You would just have to take off, bro. And I would be coming from school hungry, and I had to run 5 laps, bro. And on top of
Yeah.
that, I had to play against the older girls and Pajarito and all these ballers and
Yeah.
just get
Mhm.
whooped.
Yep.
It was a great experience, and
Yeah, it was.
that's
Good memories.
till this day. I think that was one of the best organizers. He is not a big club till this day. He's kind of
No.
kept it under his own umbrella, and it's fun. I feel like if more kids have the access or that experience, and if we can provide a way to give access to them for free, something like Sharif,
Yeah.
our talent can be very technical and start developing very technical at a very young age.
Yeah.
So like I said, bro, our youth careers mirrored each other.
Mhm.
So you started with Sharif. You probably would say there 3 years. I stayed about 4 or 5, and then I went
Yeah.
on to Flyers, and Flyers
Yeah.
later on to turn into LAFC.
AFC.
It was one of the bigger clubs in the area, La Cañada. And at that time they weren't very competitive,
No.
but just because of the area, where the Southern California, Pasadena, all those areas, there's a lot of potential and a lot of talent that, that club was attractive because they were providing full ride scholarships.
Yeah.
Main reason why I ended up at Flyers is because they gave me a full ride. As the fees are very expensive to play youth
Yep.
soccer. So
Yep.
there was no way my parents were gonna pay for that or could afford that, but they also
Yeah.
couldn't keep up with the traveling,
Yeah.
bouncing here, and I had other sisters and siblings that they had to, so
Yeah. Provide for.
LAFC, Flyers took me under their wing and kind of just gave me everything I needed so I could just focus. And that was very crucial for my development because I didn't have to worry about anything. My parents, all the opportunities were given to me, but I also saw how many kids at my age weren't given this opportunity. So their development
Yep.
couldn't, it didn't go past 15.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
few,
for
late,
sure.
few years later, you move on to Flyers too, no?
Yeah. Yeah, I was with like San Anita Sting, SoCal United for a few years, but didn't really like it.
Mhm,
And then I joined LAFC like right when they became LAFC. But
mhm.
before that, like you said, when they were Flyers, I remember thinking like, every time we would play them, it'd be like a 3-0 game. Like
Yeah.
everyone thought they weren't competitive. But once it became LAFC, I think it started attracting more players. I remember it started before I joined. They started becoming good because they had attracted, one or two good players from Santa Anita Sting, before I had joined them, they moved to Flyers, and then eventually I joined LAFC, and yeah, and I mean Rafa was our coach, and he just developed us even further. And yeah, I mean, I feel like they had a few good teams, even the youngers. You know, they did well in the developmental academy as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
man.
definitely had a good experience.
It was I feel like a big till this day it's a big club just because it's in a really really good area. You know, we were on different teams and then developmental academy came around. Me and you were lucky enough and it was one of the greatest experience of my youth, bro, to be part
Same.
of that team and of the inaugural year of developmental academy. And it's
Same.
folded now. It folded last year. I'm trying to do the research on what's going to happen next on why it folded. But our
Yeah.
year that came around, it was the perfect, I feel, structure. There were so many teams nationwide.
Yeah.
There were that were under a magnifying glass
Hmm.
that I feel like that was the only time that something was under the US soccer umbrella that made
Yeah.
sense that
Yeah.
they were able. Me and you actually had a great year with that our team and we actually got called to the U18 national team based off that inaugural year, so it shows you
Yeah.
that and all the roster that took the trip down to Uruguay and Argentina was from the developmental academy. And if you think
Yeah.
about it, bro, from the 18 roster, all of us went D1 and probably like 80% of that roster is in the pro still.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it goes to show you that the developmental academy was organized because it was under US soccer umbrella. And if you I don't know if you remember, bro, but aside from us from being a powerhouse, the team that we had and the staff we had, we were giving the balls, the kit, the flying,
Everything.
everything was paid for.
Yes, it was super professional. I loved
So
it.
that's why I feel like my experience was I feel like very for that that was very crucial for me as a soccer player and for my recruitment process. But it also at the same time as all that talent was put into on one team and under one magnifying glass, it was still very exclusive and selective because it was
Yeah.
only LAFC, LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
There could have been, and it's just that's just in Southern California. There's so many other cities that the kids didn't really get an opportunity.
Yeah.
So I know that the US and Southern California youth soccer is so massive. And I think that these days I feel like there's so many leagues and they keep telling us we're the most competitive league. We're the most
Yeah.
competitive league. So not on top of that, parents have to pay for a premium to be at a club team, but now they have to pay for these leagues. And
Yeah.
my problem with these leagues is that if you are a powerful league, cool, but you're still not given access to the whole spectrum. And for the level of the soccer and where soccer needs to be here in the 90s in the United States, I feel like we need to give access to everybody as far
Yeah.
as like the public schools, the charter schools. We got to give access to soccer to the common folk. And as you know, it's a very elitist sport at this point. Only it's the middle class. These clubs only kind of cater to the suburbs, to
Yeah.
the more middle class families.
Yeah.
So, that's why I started this platform, to bounce ideas and to talk to people like you to see where, how I know it's a big mountain to climb, but how do we start heading in this direction to provide soccer to everybody on a
Everybody.
large
Yeah.
scale?
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, even Zlatan, when he was here with Galaxy, he said it
Mhm.
himself that, it's not fair that he can afford to pay $3,000 to play in like one of the best teams for his kids, but it's not available for like the poorer families.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, I've spoken to a few of our old teammates like Cisco, D. Frank, and
Mhm.
Anthony, and stuff like that, and Chris Ferrer about what's the most competitive league, and it's just like there's like so many that no one really knows. And I have a buddy that's coaching in college right now, and I asked him like, what league does he look towards to for recruitment, and he says he just goes and finds random teams. It doesn't really matter the league. But I think what we had with the developmental academy, it was perfect. Everyone can kind of focus. We had like the college showcase, which were amazing. It was very structured. We had each conference. I think it was very important, and I thought, it was headed in the right direction. But I mean, from what I've heard, I think the traveling for a lot of the teams, they couldn't really afford it, and I think that was a big problem with the developmental academy.
Mhm.
But I think that's when, like, the MLS or US Soccer needs to come in and kind of pump money in,
Yeah.
because otherwise players aren't going to be, developed. And we had such a great structure there, and it just kind of tossed it all away and not really invest in it. Now players don't really know where to go to develop. And I think, it's such a broken system that you don't know if you have a better shot here or a better shot there, compared to like other countries where, if you go to the, you know Barcelona, La Masia, that it uses a straight pipeline. You don't need to, and then they do their own recruiting, and stuff like that. So, but I feel like it's so broken that, you kind of you need a lot of luck to make it, honestly.
Man, everything you just said, I agree with all of the above, bro. I had a talk with Mike Randolph recently, ex teammate of yours,
Yep.
legend, absolute crazy career, and he said the same thing. Um, the career for an American player is so hard. He says at times he was good, at times he wasn't good, but sometimes he was lucky. And I feel
Mhm.
like what you said, we don't have a direct pipeline, a direct ladder, a direct blueprint that tells the American player this is how you do it, this is how you're successful,
Yeah.
and back to what you said about US soccer and MLS, it has to come from them, bro. It has to come from the big dogs up top, because if nothing's under one umbrella, these clubs are going to just keep milking the money. They're
Mhm.
going to just, and then at the end of the day, I'm not opposed to making money with soccer, bro.
Yeah.
Soccer is, there's money in this. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get money in soccer, but
Yeah.
there's the right way to do business. And I understand
Yeah.
America is business first, but why don't we do business the right way? Have the MLS, have the federation invest into the public, develop these kids, and we sell them to the super clubs, bro.
Mhm.
The athletes and the talent and just the whole spectrum. We're so big that we're going to be making millions developing
Yeah.
these talents and selling them to. Look at our roster right now for US soccer. 10 of these dudes are playing, 10 or plus are playing Champions League.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we shouldn't. I think we've kind of glorified and foreigners curriculum coming here and teaching us, where I don't have a problem with foreigners, but I also
Yeah.
don't think foreigners are the answer to our
No,
development.
I
And
agree. Yeah.
I feel like we have our own problems and we have to fix our own problems. We can't bring Real Madrid, the Barcelonas, the Bayern Munich, and expect them to fix it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So I feel like it has to come from the umbrella of the federation to the MLS to public school system. They should send out people that represent them, pay them as full-time teachers or full-time employees, give them salaries, give them benefits. So you actually give stability, not just of the kids, the parents, but also the coach. You don't
Yeah.
have stability in these youth clubs, bro. The work is seasonal, the hours are minimal,
Mhm.
expenses that have to come out of your pocket,
Yeah.
gas, cat, like it's something that I've tried to do for the last 7 years, and I'm like,
It's a
how am I going
grind.
to climb to the top? And it's not. I can't never
Yeah.
find stability at a club.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like if we were to fund the schools, we would keep everything. We would keep everything just like the developmental academy under one magnifying glass, bro. We keep track of kids by district. We maintain them by district. We grow them to middle school by district, to high school, to the feeding system. We got to give them a better college system. We'll go into college system in a little bit.
Yeah.
But like again, that would be a direct pipeline,
Yeah.
and it sounds easier said than done. But
Of course.
at
Yeah.
the end of the day, bro, we have a census. We keep track of how many people are in this country, like
Yeah.
as big as it is, and that's a wall that I keep bumping into. That people keep saying, "Oh yeah, but the U.S. is so big, blah blah blah." But yes, cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, bro, we keep track of people. How,
Yeah.
bro, the CIA, the FBI could find
Mhm.
anybody. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's a big mountain for us to climb.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely we have to, as a nation, and the federation has to look at, ourselves in the mirror and like, what's more important, making bread or developing talent,
Yeah.
and if it's making money, I don't think we're ever going to be a powerhouse that we
No.
have
Yeah.
the potential to be.
I agree. No, it's sort of to add on that. I was recently looking at a video talking about Carlos Puyol and how he developed, and how he became the player that he was. And as a kid, in Spain, what they do with the players that aren't in like bigger clubs like Barcelona and Real Madrid and Valencia, Sevilla, whatever, they have all these little other clubs, but they have uh, recruits and people that assess every single player, and they say he's good in this, he's good in that, he can work on this, blah 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 blah. But they take the time and they assess the players, and then they have this under all one like database or something. Somebody has like all this information, and you could look through it. Every player that's registered to play, every kid, um, it's you're not being left between the cracks.
Yeah.
Everyone's has like an equal opportunity.
Mhm.
And I think that's something that we need. And you going back to schools where in the middle school, if we could all put the players in like one database where we rank them as a player, we tell them he needs to work on this, he needs to work on that, he's good in this, he's good in that. I think we could you know push towards the right direction. And adding something further that you were talking about, a simple example is Iceland. A few years ago, Iceland was like a nobody in
Mhm.
soccer. But I mean, you look at the Euros, in the last Euros, and they surprised a lot of teams. They beat like teams like the Netherlands. And I have a buddy that plays there professionally now, and he told me that what they've done is they've really build a foundation, uh, like starting from the bottom, and they've built it up to the national team. And it's taken a few years, and it will take a few years. But once the foundation is there, it can be a very competitive team, because they're a country of like 100,000 people, right? And I know it's easier to track players, but what
Mhm.
they've done is they every coach that coaches in the youth system, you can't have like an average person, like a random person,
Mhm.
or like your everyday dad. You have to have like a UEFA A license.
Mhm.
So from the get-go, from a young age, you have UEFA licensed coaches teaching these kids, and then it just continues and continues. And once they reach the pros, you can see the fruit of their labor, and now they're a pretty competitive team.
Man, what a beautiful, bro. Yes, great point. Beautiful picture painted. Iceland, a great example. I'm gonna do more research on that because they've become a more exciting team to play. That's Iceland has become one of those teams that they're not gonna be an easy W because
Yeah.
they have the momentum, they have the young staff, the young philosophy, and back to let me touch up on you what you said about coaching. So true, bro. We have, as here in the nation, we need a better foundation now with the structure, not just with players but with our coaching. I've been coaching, I've been out of college 2013, 8 years now. I've coached every year since. I've fallen out of love out of coaching and with soccer because of the how frustrating the industry is. I would say
Yeah.
the field of coaching is. And
Yeah.
I feel I've worked for the Red Bull, who would have an amazing program, one of the best coaching programs in the country. I would say I did the two seasons there. But I also know the game, bro, and I appreciate this game, and I know what's a good coach and what's not a
Yeah. You
the
you
best
you
coach.
know. Yeah.
And I can say that these clubs will hire anybody with a pulse, bro. If you can walk and if you can speak, they'll give you a team and they'll give
Just
you the
run random
equipment and
sessions.
they'll give you a fancy curriculum that sometimes, not even sometimes, most of the time these players can't do, but it looks good on paper. And that's what they sell to the parents out in Long Island, out in the Valley. And they look at it and they're like, oh, wow, is the MLS team with a good nice curriculum, with someone that looks the part. Oh,
Hmm.
let's pay X amount of dollars. But one, that's wrong because only the suburbs could pay that.
Yeah.
Two, you know, I don't want to bash. Like I said, Red Bull is one of the better programs, but at the same time, that's selling the Red Bull name. They
Yeah.
hire anybody, and the coach is just a cash cow. I used to
Yeah.
sit there and I used to do the numbers in my head. I'm like, dang, there's X amount of players here. They're getting X amount of this. I'm getting X amount of dollars that, and it didn't make sense. And that's when I started realizing that I was being used, and I
Yeah.
didn't like it. Like I said, I
Yeah.
love this game. Like as much as I want to make money out of it, and to me, it's to anyone coaching. If you've played soccer, it's an easy job, bro. As
Yeah.
far as like if you're giving an opportunity, a good group of kids that are there to play competitive, you're gonna be able to
You're
thrive.
gonna enjoy it. Yeah.
You're gonna enjoy it, and that's how it started with me. But then I started realizing that everything was just a cash cow,
It's all
bro.
about
Like
money. Yeah.
it's all about money, and they give these licenses out to anybody that can pay for them.
Yeah.
And again, I right now I want to get my C license and my B license and climb up the ladder, but I don't want to pay $5,000 for a license.
It's expensive,
Bro, you that played pro has to pay that. How do you as a pro not get to get those licenses because of what you've seen being with the national team in your career? But again, it goes all to money. US soccer they need their hand in the cookie jar, bro. And they if you want this paper, you got to pay us. So that it's mangled, bro. It's in shambles. And like I said, it's not gonna change is not gonna come from those big corporations because they're comfortable. They're gonna keep milking this money. So I feel like if there is change, it has to come from. I believe in the power in numbers, bro, and I believe in the internet, and I believe in the new generation like me and you. Like I said, I don't think we need foreigners to come here and teach us the game of soccer. I feel like we don't need to export our talent to England or to Europe when we can develop it here by people who've graduated the system like me and you, Mike Randolph, people that know, people that got it out the mud, that are certified to talk and certified to teach. And I don't see us getting those chances. I've tried, but the room is filled in the coaching world, bro. Like the big dogs are not going to make room for me, even if I have a license, even if I have a resume. I can't get into those big positions of influence because those guys have been there 20 plus. And they've got their shot at it, bro. And in 25 years, the system's still the same, bro. Me and you're still playing. You still have a stellar career, still in your prime. But me, that I'm done. And eventually, you have a kid now. I'm going to have a kid. The system hasn't changed for them. So I know that you're not going to pay $5,000. I'm not going to pay $5,000 for someone to teach soccer who doesn't know more soccer about, than us.
Yeah, than us. Exactly. Yeah. I'd rather teach my son,
Yeah, bro. And so it's US soccer is definitely at a tough place. Youth development is at a tough place. But as far as like, bro, look at our leagues, look at the talent we're putting out, look at the people that are graduating from the system. We're flying. And, we have everything in this nation to be a powerhouse in the sport of soccer, but we're not heading in the right direction towards that because of greed. So, that's why I wanted to build this platform. And it's not, I'm not here to bash anybody or expose anybody or, tell you that I know more about soccer because I don't know the most about soccer. There's people out there. I just want to have the right conversations with the right people to put the right people in this, in the same rooms and kind of like, hey, this is where we need to go because it has to come. Someone has to lead it. Someone has to start it because like I said, the big dogs are comfortable. It's not going to come from them,
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Okay. I'll tell you a story actually, bro. This is, so you remember where I came out in your sister's quinceañera, right?
Oh, that's right, bro.
So
I forgot about that.
Bro, one thing I've been blessed with is my memory, bro. I can bring up memories random. So let me tell you what I remember about your sister's quinceañera. So that's the only quinceañera I've ever done in my life, bro.
Oh, for real?
Ever, yeah.
That's funny.
But I remember my mom used to drive me to the practices, and one day during that time, bro, you were the first, because our parents were like, if you're gonna play soccer, you have to go to college. That was like my parents' number one rule for me. Like, if you're gonna do this, like, you got to go to college. So I was like, okay, that's, in my head, I was like, I didn't know how it was gonna happen, but if I kept balling, that's what I was gonna do. So at this time, you had already signed your full ride Evansville letter, bro. And I had never seen one of those. Like, I had never seen a college letter. I had never, and they said, congrats, Richard, blah, 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 Evansville full ride scholarship. And once I saw that, bro, and the fact that you're Salvadorian, we have the same background, that, I kid you not, bro, that moment I was like, I need one of those letters. And I didn't even know that I wanted to play soccer, but I had like this competitive thing with my parents that I wanted to prove them wrong all the time. And they would always tell me, like, Richie, because you're the gentle, till this day, bro, you're a gentleman. And like, as a kid, you were the perfect Salvadorian kid. So my I don't know, man. I don't have the best relationship with my parents, but they were always, you were like just a prime example, like you got to be like Cesar Barajas and you got to be like Richi Menjivar. And I was like, bet. But when I saw that, bro, and I was like, bro, this kid, it's possible, and this is what I have to do. It's over, bro. So
Yeah.
that's one of the first memories I remember that. Or that, not even one of the first memories, but like an impactful memory that I had, that you had on me, you know. And that's why, again, to
That's awesome
this
to hear,
episode
man.
big, not just for me, but for every up and coming Salvadorian team, that it can be done. You know, me and
Yeah.
you were one of the very fortunate that actually got these full ride scholarships, got a good process through the system, and we've benefited extremely from the sport. So it's only right that we actually document and try to improve the sport, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that, man. I've never heard you say that, so it means a lot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's like I said, bro, like you're just like our then we're very different players, or they're very different people, but our paths have been,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
exactly. It's
exactly.
identical.
Yeah, man. And
Yeah.
yeah, how did you? Let's talk a little bit about your recruitment process. You know, you went on later to play at Evansville and then transferred to Bakersfield. But let's talk before that. We had a good run with our U17 team, you know, and we also from that team you got put on the U.S. national team, the 18.
Yeah.
So let's talk little bit about that experience. Let's talk about a little bit about that process.
Yeah, so I joined LAFC under like 14. And we weren't, I mean, we were always in the Premier division, or the Co-Soccer League in the Premier League. Um but we weren't always like the top team. It was always like SoCal United going to like national
Yeah.
cup and like winning everything. And then at the time we were still competing versus our old team, FC Barcelona. But as the years passed, we all started getting better. And then maybe the last, like maybe my junior senior year, was when we started like winning a bunch of tournaments, the Super Y League, stuff like that. We went to Disney Showcase, where we did really well. But that's actually where I started getting recruited from Evansville,
Mm-hmm.
with LAFC. We went to the Disney Showcase, and I remember it was just like tons and tons and tons and tons of college coaches there, and some of the best teams in the country. We played Dallas Cup too.
Yeah.
But it was really the Disney Showcase that the coach from Evansville approached, Rafa, and started talking to them about me. And then once we went to the U.S. Developmental Academy, obviously, we would have all these showcases, and I remember always seeing them there as well. So
Yeah.
they kept their eye on me. Yeah, that's basically it. And then I remember, they contacted me. They even showed up to one of our training sessions. I don't know if you remember. And yeah, they invited me to take a visit to Evansville. And yeah, I mean, I loved it right away. And obviously, getting a full ride was the biggest thing for me, because I mean, as you know, I have three older sisters and a,
Yeah.
and a half older sister, and for my parents to pay for college, it was like it was going to be impossible, because
Yeah.
I got, before Evansville, I actually got a half a scholarship offer from
Mm-hmm.
Denver University, and I loved
Oh,
Denver.
we went there, remember?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, wow. Yeah.
So Denver was like, yeah, well, we can give you half a scholarship, and I was stoked, bro, because at the time I didn't get any offers. And then I,
Yeah.
I go and I go to my dad. I'm like, Dad, look, I got half a scholarship offer. And he's like, it's not good enough. Like, I can't pay for this.
Yeah.
And I was bummed, dude. And I didn't know, like, if I was gonna get like any offers. And like, I could see like people coming in here, people coming in there from like other teams. But yeah, eventually, I went to Evansville, and I spoke to the coach there, and he was like, yeah, we want to give you a full ride. I'm like, like, where do I sign? I committed to them in that trip,
Uh,
because he was like, yeah, we'll give you a full ride. And I was like, where do I sign,
yeah.
basically? And yeah, I was there for 2 years. And it was a little bit tough for me, soccer wise, just because it was like Midwest soccer. I
Yeah.
think like the East Coast and West Coast schools have better playing style.
Mhm.
Because once you get into the college level, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you know, playing against other Midwest teams. It's like very direct and very physical and stuff like that. I mean, you played in the East Coast, you played in BC, so you probably play some like versus some nice players in like
Yeah.
Maryland and Duke and
Yeah.
UNC, I'm sure. And then those guys are really skillful and talented and crafty. But a lot of the Midwest teams are a grind, dude.
Yeah.
They're just workhorses, and they work and they
Yeah.
run and they run and they pressure you. And it wasn't for me.
I hear you, especially coming from, bro, the best team in the country. Remember that year we had, bro. So imagine from playing actual soccer and having an identity and switching the ball and playing beautiful soccer
Yeah,
to go there and be more direct. That's
yeah, it
I
was
had the
tough.
same. I feel you on that. I had the same problem adjusting to the game. You know, they
Yeah,
thought I was gonna go in there and just be someone that gets in the air, gets direct, but no, I
yeah,
want to ball at my feet. I
yep,
want to be able to touch,
yep,
and you know, it's hard to adjust to that playing style. It's the college system, you know, I really think it could be part of our journey as far as like we could advise people to, hey, you can go the college way or you can try to go pro after high school, you know, but I
yeah,
don't think it should be our number one priority. I
yep,
don't think these clubs should be selling the dream that they're okay, we're going to get you to recruit it here.
yeah,
Because what a lot of parents, a lot of players, a lot of people don't know is that a lot of these programs, there's the college system concept is hard because you have to balance school, you're missing a lot of class, you're traveling, and you're only playing soccer for 3 months, bro. So how are you supposed to develop? How are you supposed to recruit? How are you supposed to, as a coach, as a player, supposed to give your best soccer in just 3 months? You know,
yeah,
so but I feel like if it's reformed and if it's, you know, more playable year round, it can actually, and we can actually get some real coaches in here,
yeah,
because I'm gonna be 100, bro. Like a lot of these coaches at these big you know, powerhouses, they played soccer so long ago, they're so
yeah,
like stubborn
yeah,
on how
outdated. Yeah,
like outdated, like I said. And like I said, bro, like it's time for the new generation to give the new identity to be in these influential coaching positions,
yeah,
to elevate and to give just a whole different look to the game of soccer, you know,
yeah,
because at the end of the day, as harsh as this may sound, we're just a number to a lot of these coaches.
yeah,
We're just a number to a lot of these programs. As long as they bring us in, we keep the grades up and we just keep, you know, playing that robotic system they want us to play.
yeah,
Boom. They're
yeah,
not worried about teaching us soccer, developing soccer. We're
yeah,
just okay. You know, they rather just teach us the system, teach us the pattern, and then the next person,
yeah,
next freshman, teach them the same shit.
yeah.
So
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think it's tough for three playing a season in 3 months. You know, you can kind of side with the coaches that they're not going to teach you anything because the games are so back to back to back to back. You don't have time to teach and develop and create an identity. It's mostly just win, 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 win.
mhm.
And sometimes, well, a lot of the times, a lot of the coaches just take the easy solution and just try to find, you know, like be solid defensively and then just maybe lump it forward and win a free
Yeah,
kick, win a corner,
yeah,
and that's how we win games. And
uh-huh.
but yeah, I mean, going back to like development and like college soccer, I think it's a little broken. You know, just because, for example, you and I went to the U.S. national team, the U18s,
Mhm.
but then after that, I think we sort of like fell out of the radar
Mhm.
for the U.S. coaches, like the under
Yeah.
23s and stuff like that. And then yeah, I think it could be done a little bit better. But sort of going back to what you were saying about, you know, players and like coaches selling parents the dream, oh, we'll get you to college. If that's your goal, if as a player or as a person you want to get to college, that's fine. Like you can go
Mhm.
to a team
Mhm.
that's gonna try to take you there. But if you want to be a pro like you and I wanted to be, then you have to find coaches that don't promise you these things, that they develop you and they you know, they teach you the right stuff. And
Yeah.
it takes time, you know, and honestly it takes time. And yeah, like you said, coaches in a lot of programs, even at the pro level, that I've had some coaches where I'm like, how are you here?
Yeah.
How are you stealing from the game, you know?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not learning anything. I think that team, I've said this to a few people, the LAFC team we had, it was the most professional, it was the most fun I've had playing. uh I enjoyed going to practice. I love competing. I love hanging out with the guys. I mean, I still talk to, you know, most of the guys,
Yeah.
and it was one of the best teams, technically, tactically, that I think I've ever played with. Even at the pro level, um, and the national team, you know, there's a few times where I really enjoyed it, and there's other times where it's just like, okay, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But we can get into that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then that's why I went to Bakersfield, just because I couldn't, you know, keep up with the soccer. I was missing home too, and then I came back, and honestly, after those 2 years, I kind of lost love for the sport in Evansville, and then Bakersfield, I want to say, saved my life, dude.
Man.
I started playing with, you know, there's a bunch of Mexicans on that team, and they're one of my best friends now. And I really enjoyed it, and I started enjoying going to practice again and playing, because it was more like the style that I'm used
Mhm.
to. And yeah, and then
Man, that's a one. I think, yeah, you transferring to Bakersfield is probably the best decision you've made for your soccer career, bro. That's a decision I wish I would have made, of just transferring, you know,
yeah,
because I also, after 2 years, I was like, I'm in a place where I'm not appreciated. I'm like, you know, I was getting played, but I was playing center back. Like, I was like, it just wasn't me. I wish I would have, you know, figured it out and transferred, bro. But Bakersfield, Jazzy Zardes was there, yeah.
yeah,
What a
yeah.
baller,
He
bro.
played with
That-
Jazzy, yeah.
who also started with Sharif Zine.
He did, bro.
Come
Bro,
on, bro.
everybody's playing with Sharif, huh?
I'm telling you, bro. Sharif needs the respect, and he's in this. That's why he's the king of soccer, bro.
Yeah,
Self-proclaimed.
yeah,
But you what I was also gonna say and comment on is that, damn, bro, that's dope, because you play for the national team, US, and for the full Salvadorian national team. For you to think that the LAFC team was the funnest time, for you to hear
that was
that,
fun.
makes me feel so good,
Yeah,
because that's how it was for me. That was the best team I was a part of. I've learned so much under Josh Henderson and Rafa in that year and a half and playing with you guys, that I got no other development like that, you
yeah,
know. And it's such a group of guys, good group I talk to everybody, but on that roster,
yeah,
from random, I like sliding DMs. They have kids. I'm like, man, these guys, man, they're ballers.
yeah,
Yayo, Carlos Alvarez, Bobby Reeves, Bobby Freeze,
yeah,
Gio the goalie, bro. We were
yeah.
stacking. The
We got
thing
a
is that
squad.
the roster was so deep that anyone could have started on that. And I feel like because of that whole year, we were so competitive in practice that's why a lot of us ended up going D1. You know, that was the perfect experience for of how you want to keep. You know, think about how long you guys were with Rafa. Think I was with Josh Henderson 3 years before that, and then they combined one team. And it shows you that if a club provides stability for a coach, they're gonna put together a good group of kids,
Yeah,
just not just on the field, but off the field, bro. We were all
yeah,
clean cut. We were all. I remember
yeah,
Rafa used to be like, bro, we don't want to look like a salad.
yeah.
Everyone with the
That was
polo,
the
everyone
thing.
on
Huh?
time, bro.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, man, that's dope. Thanks for sharing that, bro. So yeah, let's transfer to, before you go off to Evansville, you know, we get called up to the national team, which for me was a crazy experience, bro. You actually were put on the roster, the original roster. I was not on the roster, and then Ederiola got hurt, and Ederiola,
Oh, okay.
I
That's
found out
right.
I had found out I made that roster because he called me personally, like, hey, bro.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's like, hey, bro. And this was after, and I don't know if you remember, but we had 4 games of that playoffs, and I didn't score till the last game. I think I had 1 goal, but Carlos showed off, you showed off, Caesar showed off. As a team,
Yeah,
we were unstoppable. And I
yeah,
remember Rafa telling us, this is gonna be like a 1-0 game. You're not gonna beat these
yeah.
teams like y'all gonna be beating, bro. We go into the first game, five
Smack him.
zero in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
And we smack everybody. So I didn't really have a good tournament, you know. So this is after the tournament. I had heard you had got called up, you know, and then Eder calls me, hey, bro, because Eder graduated early and was at UCLA like at 16, bro.
that's right. That's
And
right.
so he was big time. And he calls
Yeah,
me, he's like, hey, bro, I'm hurt. And I just saw your name as one of the people that may be going on the trip, bro. He's like, I'm just letting you know that it's gonna be
that's
you.
sick, dude. Yeah,
And I'm like, no way. So I tell my dad, and my dad already knew. He's like, oh, I was just actually gonna tell you. Bro, I was so pumped. Me and you
Uh,
representing LAFC, not only representing LAFC, but representing El Salvador, bro.
yeah,
Like, I don't think there's ever been two Salvadorians on the national team, or maybe, but that was
yeah, yeah.
big. It
That's
was
crazy.
big
Yeah,
for me, for you, for Southern California, but for our
yeah,
country, bro.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and it was a great trip because you went later on. You went on and had a stellar career with our motherland. But it's crazy that you started under U.S. soccer. So do you
yeah.
remember anything from that trip in Uruguay and that experience?
Yeah, just well, when I first found out, dude, honestly, uh I was in shock. I mean, I knew I had been playing well with LAFC and like I was really enjoying it, but it I think it was the first time that I really get tested with other players, and I remember this perfectly. um Josh came to me, and this gave me like the most confidence ever. He's like, you're there, you belong there. Okay, so
Mhm.
just do your thing. And that gave me like all the confidence in the world. And then I found out you were going. I was like, that's even better because
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
normally I'm like a very like timid, shy guy. I don't really
Yeah,
talk to people unless like I
yeah,
start knowing them and then like kind of like open up. So like even like putting like a new environment is kind of weird for me. But having you there, I think it kind of opened me like in like got me out of my shell, and it
yeah,
kind of gave me that chance to like be more myself and express my soccer, because I feel like when I'm comfortable off the field with the players and the teams,
yeah.
I'm like super comfortable on the field. And that's like one of the things that I love with LAFC, that we all got along pretty well, and we were all good friends, and I was super comfortable with everyone. But yeah, and then when we got there, I remember the training sessions were like really competitive.
Bro, it was so fast. The speed of play was so
Yes,
fast.
he was. I remember I think the first session, it was supposed to be like a recovery session,
Uh-huh.
and I remember coach saying, "Okay, well, first of all, we did like a passing pattern and we were pinging it." And I
Yeah,
remember Kofi Sarkorty was like, "All right, let's ping it, boys, let's ping it."
yeah,
And I remember thinking, "Damn, like this is like good quality, good quality."
yeah,
Everyone was like, it was zipping, the ball was zipping, and we were supposed to do like shadow play, like
yeah,
11v11, and everybody was getting into it, dude, just
yeah,
competing and like wanting to like show and like earn a spot on the team,
yeah,
and I loved it, bro. I really enjoyed it. And then I remember we played a friendly versus Nacional. You remember that
yeah,
team,
yeah.
bro? Remember that number
That's
10, the Leo,
bro.
the
That kid
baller.
killed us. What a headache.
Dude, I was like, this guy is unreal, man.
Yeah, bro.
He was. I think that was the first time I've played with somebody that was like our age, that
Mhm.
was like
Miles,
years ahead of us,
years ahead of
years
us.
ahead of us. He was on another level, dude.
Yeah,
And I really enjoy that, because then we played like Venezuela and Paraguay, and I'm like, okay, they're good,
yeah. They were
but
older. We
yeah,
were
they were
a team.
U20s.
Yeah, we're 20s. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. And then we played Uruguay too, and they had good players. I mean,
yeah.
but that Leo kid, yeah, I'm never gonna forget him, bro. He was
He
good.
was sick, bro. And
Yeah,
that experience was dope because we got to go to Argentina, see the level, and then we took a ferry to Uruguay and got to see the level there.
yeah,
And on that roster, Eric Hurtado, Bill Hamid, Zach McMath, Kofi, Baller,
yeah, yeah.
Barrera was there. Was Barrera on there?
No, I don't
No,
think Barrera
Barrera
was
was
on
in
there.
residency at this time.
Yeah.
But who else was on there? Brian Dominguez was on there.
Oh,
That
he
guy was
was.
nasty, bro.
Yeah, he
That
was.
was probably
Yeah,
one of my at that time, probably one of the best midfielders in the country as far as
yeah,
like just crafty. But
yeah,
man, yeah, that was a dope experience, man. And what was
yeah,
dope about that is that, bro, like you're wearing the kit. Like it's official. Like as far as like at that time, that's where it gets like, yo, I can be a pro, maybe.
yeah,
And that trip was great for me, bro, because I was gonna be a senior in high school, and I was the only person on that roster not committed. Like everyone, Bill Hamida told me I'm not going to college, I'm going pro. I'm like,
yeah,
respect.
yeah,
McMath, Maryland. You're already at Evansville. Eric Hurtado, I think, was a Santa Clara. So that gave me more pressure for me. I was like, yo, I have to make a decision because I'm about to be a senior. I'm on the national team, and I still got John Marshall High School on my stuff. Like,
yeah,
so
yeah,
trip, I committed to BC, and Dave Sarakin was our coach. Eric
yeah,
Yamamoto, legend, was there.
yeah.
Tommy Lang was there. And what I
That's
remember
right,
about David Sarakin, who ended up being the Galaxy player, Galaxy coach,
coach. Yeah,
He was nice, bro. He used to
He was
get
nice.
on like on the rondos and like
Hmm.
the possession games. He used to
Hmm.
like scoop it over people, and I used to be
Yeah.
like, wow, like like this. These
Yeah.
are these are the people that need to be leading our country, bro. So
Yeah.
that was an amazing experience, bro. I got that. I'm glad
Man.
I got to experience that with you, and
Yeah.
I would say like, yeah, that was probably the highest for me,
Yeah.
bro. That
Yeah.
trip. How did you transition to the El Salvador national team? How to transition? What was your mentality after you graduated? Like, because clearly you knew you were gonna go pro. You wanted to go play pro.
I knew I wanted to play pro. I just didn't know how it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um, so after uh, I was done playing with Bakersfield, my mind, I was like, okay, I'm probably going to get invited to the MLS draft, the combine,
Combine. Yeah.
dude. Honestly, to this day, I don't know what happened because I remember there was only like two or three from our conference that got invited,
Mhm.
and I remember my name was bouncing around, but for some reason, I wasn't invited, dude.
Yeah.
And I thought like why? I thought I did well. We led Bakersfield to the first like NCAA tournament for the first time
Yeah.
in their history, actually, because before they were Division II, like a few
Yeah.
years before I had gotten there. And we were doing really well. We were like top, I don't know, like 30 or something for a while. And honestly, I didn't know like what was going to happen. That's when my second semester before finishing college, Eric Winalda
Legend.
contacted me. He said he was starting this Cal FC team with Mike Friedman, and that they want to do like an Open Cup run, and it could be good. And I was like, Eric Winalda for sure. Like
Yeah.
I grew up booing him when he would play La Selecta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember they played El Salvador in the Coliseum, and he was warming up, and like me and my parents and my sister were like boo boo, but I remember to this day, I haven't told him this story. He just like laughed it off, and I thought like that's like very professional, like that he
Yeah.
would just like laugh it off, because
Yeah.
I was thinking if that be me, I'd be like pissed ooff and like telling
Yeah,
him
bro. I'll be in
to
the
get out of here.
stands. Like what?
Yeah. 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 So anyway, so he hit me up, and they're like, yeah, we're getting a bunch of players. And then he started naming them: Pablito Cruz, Eder, Mike Randolph, Danny Barrera, Diego Barrera, and Beto, and Derby Carrillo. I'm like, oh, okay, like this could be a decent team. Jesus Gonzalez. And I was like, yeah, I'll play. Sure enough, we started off in the qualifiers in the Open Cup, and it was fun, bro. Like it was something that I enjoyed, because coming from like Evansville and Bakersfield, even compared to Bakersfield, that Cal FC had a little bit more chemistry, because it was
Mhm.
like more players that were trying to play, and I enjoyed that a lot. And then sure enough, we did really well. We beat Wilmington Hammerheads. Uh, Before that, we beat like a UPSL team, and they're supposed to be really good, but we were killing everybody. And then we go up to Portland, and everyone was counting us out. Sure enough, we won, dude.
Yeah.
We won 1-0 in extra time, and then yeah, then we ended up losing to Seattle Sounders the next round. We got killed. Our luck was over, but yeah, that's how it all started. I kind of got my first taste of like playing versus like professional teams, because we played the Wilmington Hammerheads, and then we played Portland, obviously. And then after that, Eric. Well, during that run,
Let me
Eric was
let me
was
say let me say something about Eric Winaldo, bro.
okay.
Because one, bro, legend. As far as like I'm a soccer fan, bro. So I saw that run, you guys, that Cinderella run you guys did with that roster. And I remember cheering you guys on. I'm like, bro, like these Portland Timbers and the Sounders had to bring first team guys to beat you
Yeah,
guys, because
yeah,
you guys were whooping everybody.
uh-huh,
And the roster was stellar. And I was still at BC, and I was pissed that I didn't go, because I wanted, but Pablo Cruz has tried to get me on every team he's been at.
yeah.
And I love him for that.
Yeah,
And let me say about Eric Winaldo, bro, the fact that he has the eye for talent,
Yes.
for that sleeps that he has that eye for talent that slips for
Through
players
the
that slip
cracks.
through the cracks. For
Yes.
that he appreciates that Hispanic character. He appreciates those crafty players that are gonna take a chance and not just be so direct. So
Yeah.
he's someone I mentioned on my intro video that I want to talk to, and I recently reached out to him and he actually reached back. So man, like he's someone I feel like is right for US soccer. Without even mentioning his coaching career, bro, he's an American idol, American US soccer
Yeah.
legend. So just
Legend.
based
Legend.
based on that, he should get a chance to be up in the federation and
Yeah.
stuff. But then he's done stuff like this with the Cal FC run and the Open Cup run, but not that's not to me. That's not what was the dopest part about that run, bro. The dope part is that this dude took that roster to Atlanta and signed all y'all pro.
Yes.
Who has done that? Tell me,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
That
No
that
one.
that is incredible to take an amateur team to have such a good run in the Open Cup to just take literally how many kids went, bro?
5, 6, maybe. Danny, Pablo,
Bobby,
Jesus was there. Bobby. But Bobby wasn't with the KFC, but
yeah.
he like
Mike
recruited
Randolph was there too.
Mike Randolph. Yeah, Beto Navarro. I don't know if you know him,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was like 6, 7 of us, dude,
Yeah,
and
bro.
like
I feel like that doesn't get enough attention. That kind of got overlooked, And I'm
yeah,
thinking like, why? Because he was trying to run for U.S. soccer president a few years
a few
ago,
years
and
back, yeah,
yeah, and then I was like, yo, yeah, maybe that's someone we need, someone that's actually a legend in the system to
yeah,
go shake shit up and start, actually developing and actually leading us the right way.
no
But
facts,
what the hard facts is what Mike Randolph told me, and about American players, and maybe it has to do with American coaches too, is that our nation doesn't take care of their own, bro. They respect foreigner players and
yeah,
foreigner coaches more than
yeah,
anyone, more than the homegrown talent, and
no
that's
facts,
hurtful, bro, for all of us. That
yeah,
not only do we have a messed up system, but even if we're successful in the system, we still not getting the opportunities, bro. And
yeah,
that's the whole cold hard truth. And it goes to show you that someone like Eric Ronaldo, who has had a stellar career as a player, a coaching, he's still not getting those opportunities that he
yeah,
should be getting. So,
yeah,
that's I hope to get him on the podcast and kind of just not even on the podcast. I just want to just have a conversation with this guy to be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking from experience. How can we go? Because I feel like he's more progressive thinking. He's more
yeah,
like he's more gonna give. He's a younger look, bro. He's another generation, So
yeah,
and the fact that he took you, so you get signed to Atlanta Silverbacks, so you're officially a pro. I'm sure
yeah,
you're buzzing because that Cal FC must have, man, after college, you graduated college, you have a good run, and you're in the league, bro.
yeah.
Tell us about that whole Atlanta experience and how did you get called to the national team? Because I'm sure that had a lot of influence, no?
Well, before that, I forgot to mention that I played with the under 23s of El Salvador, and
Mm-hmm.
that was during I think that was before CalFC actually.
Okay.
Um, um, yeah, so they
Oh,
they
so
did
that's why you're probably bummed. You were wondering why didn't I get called to the combine, no? Or was that before the
no
or after the
no
combine?
that was after the combine.
Ah, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, so after the combine, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So
Mhm.
then the El Salvador Federation comes and they're like, hey, we're looking to recruit players for the pre-Olympics. We're gonna come to LA. We're gonna get a bunch of Salvadoran players,
I
Salvadoran
went,
American players.
bro. Me and you went to all those camps, bro.
Hmm.
Alan Rivera would go to these like
Yeah,
1 day camps and play against the full team.
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
would actually do well, bro.
yeah, yeah. I remember that's right. When we were 16, we played like the full men's national team with like
At Griffin
yeah,
Park.
with Chele Pacheco, and he was trying to fight everybody.
All right. First of all, RIP soccer
Yeah,
legend, bro.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know who he cracked, but what he cracked. Mine is an
Oh, that's
exhibition
right.
game. We're 16 and he's a full
Yeah.
pro, but he cracked somebody so hard. And I was like, bro, this is
Everybody was
it.
pissed in the crowd, dude, because they're
Yeah.
like, "Yo, why are you cracking these kids, man? They're not even
Yeah.
pros." Yeah, but
What a great bro.
I
So
remember that.
you go to this camp, U23 camp.
Yeah, so it's like a camp, and then they're trying to like find players. And sure enough, I do well, and they call me to the pre-Olympics, and we do pretty decent. We eliminate the U.S. We ended up losing to Honduras, which we should have won, and it could have given us a ticket to the Olympics in London. Um, but so after that Cal FC, Eric Ronaldo was calling me, but then I had already signed with agent, and he
Uh-huh.
was like, "Hey, I could give you this tryout in Denmark. Are you willing to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, like Europe, let's go." Even though it's like it was a Division 3 at the time, I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I go, I try out, and sure enough, they signed me. I signed for 6 months, and yeah, it was like an eye-opening experience just to kind of see like the different style of play. Because it's very, very tactical there.
Yeah.
It's not like a lot of high press, but it's more like sit in your block and just like try to break teams down, and
Yeah.
then when they have it, try to break us down. But it's very tactical.
Uh-huh.
Um, anyways, but Ronaldo had been contacting me before I went there, and then I didn't want to go back to Denmark just because it was so tough. I got homesick. I mean, it, I enjoyed playing, but I miss my family. I miss like the food. Like the weather was completely different, and yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world because I feel like it made me who I am. I've grown as a person there. But yeah, I had to go back. So then um, he contacted me again. He's like, "Hey, do you still want to come to Atlanta?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And sure enough, I go to Atlanta, and then most of the Cal FC players are there, and we ended up winning the first round that year, going to the finals and the playoffs, and losing to New York Cosmos, which had Marco Senna, and he scored like a banger on us. We lose 1-0.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, the experience was amazing. Like I Eric Ronaldo had such a huge influence in my career. I honestly, I think looking back now, there's always like certain things that happen that have helped me, uh, has helped my career, and I think Eric Ronaldo believing me has been like one of the top reasons why I was able to have the career that I've had, and the one that I have now.
That's
Um,
that's dope, bro. Like I said, like even me looking from outside in, that he's for you to say that is amazing because that's what it seems like. He seems like
yeah,
he believes in his players. He doesn't want the cookie cutter, he kind of wants someone that again is gonna take those risks. And I feel like even though you're a very disciplined player, bro, but you're not a player that's gonna just sit there and
yeah,
you're gonna run, you're gonna go up and down, you're gonna try to do something to get the wheels turning. You're not just gonna sit there, bro. So
yeah,
for him to have you, Danny Barrera, his brother in the middle, shows you that there is, we can play a style of soccer where we don't have to be direct or the most athletic
yeah,
team. And he's someone that understands it and he's American. So
yeah,
we don't have to bring in a foreigner to teach us. Why can we have Eric Ronaldo have his own stuff and teach his philosophy
yeah,
and have, because clearly he has an eye for not just talent, but development. And
yeah,
you had a great run in the USL. And I think that the USL is crucial for the development of the American players. Like if we were to get the USL under the MLS umbrella, where they could be a relegation, promotion system,
yeah,
we can have a better one. The players can have something to play for,
yeah,
right? The fans
yeah,
have something to play for. Because if you look at the fans, you look at these facilities for these USL teams, bro. It's there.
yes,
Hartford's lit. I saw
yeah,
New York, you were at the New York Cosmo, lit. Atlanta
yeah,
Silverbacks, great,
yeah,
bro. So
yeah,
everything is here, bro. So I'm saying, like, why don't we invest in our own,
yeah,
and even in these leagues, bro. I look at a player like you who successful at the college level, successful at the USL level, successful at the international level, both for the US and El Salvador, and you don't get a chance for the MLS. Why are you in the MLS? Like this
yeah,
whole career you have, like Danny Barrera, Pablo Cruz, you guys are still playing. You guys have the level. Like,
yeah,
where's the love for our homegrown talent?
yeah,
Like, it's shocking that you are not just on the national team, bro. You ran our midfield for like 2-3 years. Like,
yeah,
I bet you step out to play in El Salvador and people clap
yeah,
because, bro, and the fact that you never got a chance or like an opportunity for me to see, not to see you in the MLS hurts. And it goes to show
yeah,
you that It don't matter where you play. It don't matter who you are. Like the system is not gonna give you what you need to be the professional that you need to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, just even looking back at it myself, like I mean, we've played with players that are in the league now, and obviously they're good players,
Yeah,
but I feel like you and I are easily at that same level as well. You know what I'm
easily,
saying?
bro.
And it's something that I will never understand, honestly. But I think it has a lot to do with luck. First of all, you need to be lucky. You need to
Mhm.
find someone like Eric Ronaldo believed in me. I think I need to find someone in the MLS that believes in me and like wants to give me a shot. And that's still my hope. I know I'm like 30s and like maybe I got 4 or 5 more years in me, but I'm still gonna try. But I think
Let me say that before that, bro. The fact that because the longevity of a soccer player is 30. For me, it would have been like 30, 32. But for you to say 36, and I know before I started recording, I was telling you, bro, like I still think because of the player and the engine and just the style you play, you could be 36, 38 plus. So I'm
definitely,
good to hear that
yeah,
that's what you want.
yeah,
That's in your head. So, bro, keep at it, bro, because I still believe you. Not only me telling you this, a whole nation is telling you this,
yeah,
though, bro. You know how much El Salvador, as little of a country we are, as not good of a country we've successful we've been, we ride for for la
yeah,
selecta, bro.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Facts.
man, I make best of luck, and I know you're gonna get your shot, bro. Just keep at it, bro.
Definitely.
Keep grinding. That's what Mike Randolph told me, because he was telling me a story, and he's like, I asked him, I'm like, bro, not you went through all this hardship. Not once did you think about quitting, and he's like, nah, bro. Like I just kept putting my head down. No one cares. I kept working harder, and I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, that's
Hon-
what I'm gonna tell you, bro. Keep
yeah.
working, work harder, bro.
Yeah. That's honestly some like if somebody is young and listening to this, that's probably like one piece of advice. I've been told no so many more times that I can count than I've had, people say yes to me.
Mhm.
But when they do say yes, it just makes the biggest difference. But there's nothing. I mean, everyone's gonna tell you no. A bunch of people are gonna tell you no. But once you get that yes, just you got to be ready for it. You got to keep putting the work in, because sooner or later, that opportunity is going to happen. So
Yeah, bro.
if it's something that you really want, then you can't give up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Great words of advice. And definitely this is a platform where we want to inspire kids, the youth, people who are from Southern California, Salvadorian up and coming kids, any kid that is looking to play at the next level. And I really think you make a very great point to, you're not going to be, you can't take things personal.
Yeah,
You never, you may not it may not be the timing, you may not have the luck, you may not have the skill, you might, there's a lot of things that get into play, so you can't get discouraged. You just have to
yeah,
keep working. One thing I've learned about you, bro, because obviously we would go off to college and we would come back and do these summer camps. You were always fit, like as far where you one time I was pissed, bro, because we were running a camp in the hot ass sun at the Rose Bowl, and you said we had an hour break, and in that hour break you ran 3 miles and everybody did it, so I had
what?
to do it, and I was pissed.
I
I
don't
was like,
remember that, bro.
yeah, you whooped everybody, and but that just shows you how committed you were, bro, and you whipped us, bro. I was like, and that goes to show you always got to be ready, bro. Paul Caligiuri told me this when I was 15. He was like, he said to me in the most weird way, like that you got to stay ready so you don't get ready. He told me you always got to keep a pair of soccer shoes in the trunk because you never know.
That's
And
true.
I
Yeah.
was just like, what? I don't have a car. At
Yeah.
15, I was like, what is he talking about? And then my dad told me, he said, bro, that means you always got to be ready. And that
Yeah.
stuck with me, bro.
That's yeah.
Shout out Paul Caligiuri, bro,
Wisdom, bro.
Galaxy legend.
Wisdom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Let me ask you a question, bro, because clearly you're of Hispanic background. You've seen it more than I've seen it. And it's something I've talked with Abraham Romero, who also played in LAFC, played up at Chuca. And I asked him, I was like, you think the Latinos are undervalued in the US or just in soccer in general? And he was telling me that, yeah, like a lot, we're not appreciated. We're kind of just like slipped through the cracks, swept under the rug. And I just wanted to hear from you, from your experience. Why do you think, or if, we're, yeah, why are Latino players not getting those opportunities that we should be getting?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Um, I think we don't get appreciated. You're right. And I remember reading something about Clint Dempsey, and it was like an article saying, Clint Dempsey, they're praising him. He's such a good player. He's had a good career. I think this was back when he was in MLS. Um, he played in Europe. He's had so many caps with the U.S. And it's like, how did he become so good? And then I think someone said, like, they interviewed somebody or something, and they basically said, yeah, Clint Dempsey grew up in Texas, I believe, playing against like these Mexican players, and that really developed.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm reading that, I'm like, well, what about those Mexican kids? They
Yeah.
may be like Mexican, but they're still American.
Mm-hmm.
There may be Salvadorian American, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like, why aren't they given a chance?
Mm-hmm.
If you're giving credit to these players that developed someone like Clint Dempsey, why don't you get someone that's already a great player, and you don't have to? I mean, obviously you want to develop, but
Mm-hmm.
you already have a great player. Give him a shot.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, but honestly, I don't know why that is. Because I feel like most of the players that are on the national team come from like Southern California,
Mm-hmm.
Northern California, Texas,
Florida,
Florida, and
Jersey,
yeah,
and these are all
Jersey,
city. These are all cities with
full of
Hispanic
Hispanic.
populations. Yeah.
Yeah, full of Hispanic players. And I just it's something that I've thought about, and I hope it's not like like a racial thing. Like
Yeah.
maybe they don't think that we're good enough, but I mean, if you look at even now, like Efrain Alvarez, now the U.S. And Mexico want him. They're fighting for him, and I
Mm-hmm.
think they're slowly starting to realize that. But I've had college coaches tell me, oh, this guy can play in this other team. Maybe we should give him like a national team cap so he can never play with that other national team again.
Man.
It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like we want to take the good players like the Hispanics, but so
Mm-hmm.
they don't play against us. You know what I'm saying? But
That's
but
crazy.
not to keep them for us. You know what I'm saying?
What, bro?
Yeah,
Like, I'm mind blown that I mean, see, wow, yeah, that's
yeah,
crazy. Damn,
yeah,
yeah, bro. That's as far as like, man, yeah, that's ethical. That's so fucked up.
I know, dude.
That's
I
done
know.
someone's career. That can cut so much opportunity, bro. It's like a job telling you, like, yeah, we'll bring you in, you're hired, and then when you get there, like, you tell the
Yeah,
other job no, and then all right,
yeah,
take care.
yeah. See you later.
That's savage, bro. I've never
Yeah,
even thought of that's new to me.
yeah,
But yeah, bro, Efrain Alvarez is a perfect example. Even at the Galaxy, he's homegrown talent. He's most East LA. The Alvarez family is the most East LA
yep,
family I've ever seen in my life.
yep,
And how this kid's been in the league 3 years and he has 4 to 5 starts.
yeah,
Why? Why are
yeah,
you not developing this kid? And let's put aside the race stuff, where he comes from. We have national teams fighting for the LA Galaxy not to give him the opportunity. That spot is shocking to me. It shows that you can throw this homegrown word at us. You can throw this dream that you recruit from East LA, but like you have the most homegrown player in the history of the
yeah,
MLS, and you're not giving
yeah.
him
You
an
just give,
opportunity to
yeah,
grow.
yeah,
So man, I hope that changes because he's the most exciting young fella in the league.
yeah. That's why
Commentators go
a
go
lot
on.
of young people leave the MLS just because
Mhm.
they're not they're not given the shot. They think just because he's 18, 19 that he can't develop, he can't perform, he can't help the team. But you look up Borussia Dortmund, they give 18-year-olds chances all the time, and they're ballers.
Gio Reyna's 18, bro.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Bro, so that's what I'm saying. We're
Ballers.
so far behind, and it's just
Yeah,
like there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff because at the end of the day, bro, we'll root back to the root of all evil, money. These MLS want to bring the DP players, the ones that are gonna sell seats. So one thing I've noticed about the development in through the MLS, bro, and like I said, like I've grown with the league. I love the MLS, bro. I'm Galaxy till like that Mauricio Cienfuegos founding father, and what's tough for me to swallow is that, yeah, as far as the David Beckhams came here, the Henrys come here, and that gives us, more clout, it's better for the marketing, puts people in the seats, it sells jerseys. But for me as a fan, I don't care about them. They already rooted for them on their prime. I want to root for the homegrown contract player, someone who just got drafted from the MLS, from the college system. How is fresh out of college left back supposed to compete with a left back like Ashley Cole when he comes here for a spot? So that career is flushed down the toilet, not even flushed down the toilet, because that's bad to say, but that career is not ignited the way it should be, because you're never going to have a chance to sit Ashley Cole down with a stellar career, no matter how old he is. And no disrespect to Ashley Cole, but Ashley Cole is coming here to get a fat check, to get an American experience. And then the Galaxy Foundation and the fans like me, all we get is a year of Ashley Cole.
And then you go 2-3 years without playing, and then you end up in the USL or like a lower division just because you never got playing time.
So I've seen that over and over and over, bro. And like I said, it doesn't have to be like that. And like, I really think like that. That's why I really think we have to put emphasis on the USL leagues, the championship, the NISA league, all these lower leagues, because that's where, bro, we're a blue collar country. Like, one thing with the coldest stuff that someone told me on the podcast is my old roommate Sachi Hot. He played, for the Red Bull with Thierry Henry, and he tells us, yeah, bro, like, people tell us we have no identity, but he's like, if you think about the US, we rise to the occasion, we work, we're a blue collar team, that it's not going to be an easy W. So that's our identity. And I 100% agree. We're so big, we're so Hispanic, we're so African American, we're so Asian, and there's so much in this country that we can't have an identity, but hard work ethic is an identity, bro. Like, that's where we start. That's the foundation that starts. So I really think the blue collar players, the players are gonna ride for the nations, they're gonna step up to the at these big events, are in the USL. Yeah, the MLS is dope. The MLS is more mainstream, bro, but there's diamonds in the league, such as yourself, such as Pablito Cruz, everybody, bro. Danny Barrera is still doing it. And these are guys that deserve a shot, So I really think we have to put emphasis on these leagues, because a lot of these careers are, not flourishing, because they're kept in situations of promise. And, eventually when they don't, the staff moves or something, they're just kind of thrown into the USL leagues. I don't want the USL league or amateur leagues to be throwaway player leagues, because of the potential. There's of talent there is, but the potential and resources there is in that league. And you've played, you played for the Cosmos, you've been in Atlanta, you've played for the Rowdies. So you've seen it firsthand that, this is the truth is in these leagues.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I would agree. Back in 2014, we won the championship with San Antonio. In any other country in the world, we would be given a chance to play in the MLS. And I felt like that's when, like, my career, not my career, but I was playing really well. I was with the national team. I was playing like every game with the national team. I think if I would have gotten that chance to promote with San Antonio to the MLS, it could have springboarded me even more to play in the MLS, and then to
elsewhere, bro, elsewhere. Because think about it, you have a good run. No matter what you guys do, you promote the whole team, you promote the whole state. Texas is a big soccer state, bro. That man, it's sad that it stunts the growth of a club, it stunts the growth of a player like yourself, and it's just like more like, okay, what now?
Well, now it's more of the same thing. It's kind of like, all right, well, we're just sort of playing for the same thing. And I feel like that's what happens with the MLS, with like the teams that like usually bottom of the table. It's like, all right, well, better luck next year. But in other countries, there is no next year. There, you have to claw your way back to the top, because if you don't perform, you're gonna get relegated, and that's how it is.
There's no accountability for success, bro. And I got that from Daniel Frank. He's like, bro, you think about these players, bro, like they don't have nothing to play for. Like, it's just like the NBA and the MLB. It's like world champions every year, but you're playing the same group every year. Look at the big leagues, the EPL, La Liga. Like, what's beautiful about the sport is that a little pub team can have a chance to beat Manchester United, and the slim chance it may be like this, but that's all the people need. That's
Yeah,
all the nation needs for them to
yeah,
live for something, bro.
yeah,
It's as crazy as it sounds. That's what's keeping us away from growing as a league, as a nation, is that we don't have any hope. Like we don't
yeah,
give not even a speck of hope for the American crowd, for the audience, for the player. You know, I feel like it has to change, and we're getting there. And but I'm tired of hearing people saying it's growing in America, it's growing in America, and how long?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
25 years, player. Like
And yeah, when is it gonna stop growing and
yeah,
start like showing? You know?
when is it gonna hit puberty? When is it gonna
Yeah,
be an adult, you know, an adult? Like we
yeah,
can't keep saying it's growing
yeah,
because you know we gotta actually look in the face and like, yeah, we're flying, and I guess we just have to find a balance of homegrown talent versus like the talent we're bringing from the Europe.
yeah,
We have, you know, great talent over there, but I feel like we shouldn't overlook foreign talent over homegrown talent
yeah,
because what happened if the Christian Pulisic just they're hurt, the McKennies are hurt, the big names are hurt.
yeah,
The we have to, I guess, emphasize and give more responsibility to the Kellen Costas that are playing in the MLS. You
yeah,
know, and I don't know, Brian. And like I said, there's so much behind all this stuff, and there's so much politics that take away from the beautiful game. But I feel like we live in the age of technology. We live in millennials are progressive thinking. So I feel like we're gonna get it, bro. We just have to,
yeah,
I guess, stick together and kind of collect and document everything to see how do we head in the right direction.
yeah. That's right. Yeah, no, I mean, um, I think we still have a few ways, but if we start, setting the foundation in a few years, I think we can. I mean, we have the money for it, but
Mhm,
it goes back to what you said. It's all greed,
mhm,
and the sad thing about soccer that a lot of it is like political. It's
mhm,
like, who can you please, this person or money this and the
mhm.
business and yada yada yada, instead of just soccer talent playing the best players and the best coaches and what's best. So there's a lot that goes on, even outside the US, but for sure, we definitely have, a lot of work ahead of us for sure.
A lot of room for growth for sure, but it's promising.
Yeah,
People can talk about smack and about the MLS, all these leagues, but bro, give us 10 plus years,
yeah,
and see where we go. Because what we've done in the last 25 years, the MLS is 25th anniversary this year. What we've done in 25 years from going to 10 to 2016 is
yeah, it's
incredible,
crazy. That's crazy.
So yeah, man, let's transition. Clearly your professional club, like as far as the, club level has been amazing, bro. But let's talk about El Salvador national team. You can't leave without telling me
Yeah.
everything, bro, because like I said, bro, we're a small country. We haven't been the most successful country, but we'll ride for our selecta, man. And the
Yeah,
fact that you were able to do it not only at the U23 level, but at the full level, bro. Not only just a few call-ups. Like I said, you ran our midfield, bro. You don't understand how proud I was, bro. Like to just wear the blue and white, but to rep my boy that's running the
yeah,
middle, bro.
yeah.
Amazing, bro. So please talk to us about what it was for you, how it was to your family, how it happened, your first game, bro.
Yeah.
Paint the picture for us.
So when I first got my first call up, I was in Denmark actually, and after performing so well with the under 23s, I think it was inevitable that I'd be called up, just because I balled out with the 23s. And sure enough, when I was in Denmark, they hit me up. It's like, hey, like give me your info, give me your team's info. We want to bring you to the full men's national team. This was in 2002, like in this. No, it was for my birthday actually, because I remember I posted it on Instagram. I was like, yo, this best birthday gift ever.
Yeah.
And there
Your
we were,
birthday in October, huh?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, come on, bro. I got the 80 gig, bro. I'm telling you.
So yeah, so the camp would be in December, and the tournament, the Central American Cup, would be in January in Costa Rica.
Mhm.
And yeah, obviously I was stoked. My parents, they every chance they get to watch me with the national team, they've been there.
Yeah.
They went to Kansas City, to Maryland, to Houston, to bro, everywhere.
Yeah.
everywhere just to watch me play. And yeah, I mean, I have a picture on my Instagram where you know, they all have the Menjivar and the number 6 and
Yeah.
on their back, and I love it. You know, just to, you know, it makes me happy that they're, you know, they're supporting me, and you know, and I'm making them proud. The first call up was, it was good. You know, just transitioning from like even the like the club, not club soccer like as a youth, but like with the NASL USL to the international level, it's different, dude.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot faster. We played, my debut game was versus Honduras, and yeah, just like experiencing that first game, like the little space and time that we had, we had to adjust quick, you know. But luckily, we had some, you know, veteran players that were already used to that level. So
Yo, name some of them. Name.
we had Osael Romero, Cristian Castillo, Fito Celayo was there, Rafa
Wow,
Burgos.
baller, bro.
Yeah,
Fito, he needs to
yeah,
respect, bro. People don't know how understand how good that guy was.
yeah.
Nasty,
He was
bro.
nasty. He was nasty.
Quintanilla was there too, no?
No, I think he stopped getting called up. I think, was he with like the match fixing? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, he was. He was. So that's why he stopped getting. Yeah.
So a bunch of players stopped getting called up because of match fixing, and I joined after that. I
Ah,
joined
damn, that's
late.
crazy.
So that's when Denis Alas stopped playing,
Mhm.
Jaime Alas' brother, and like a few other players. Chele Pacheco, I never played with him. I played against him like a few friendlies and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Um, but yeah, no, we still had like a pretty decent squad. And yeah, I remember like just comparing it to like NASL, even just advancing a few yards with the ball and like building out of the back was a lot easier in the NASL. And with the national team, you really have to like work at it, dude. And you learn that some passes, even though you connect them, there's better passes because
Yeah.
sometimes there's, you know, they're baiting you to that, and then you lose it right away. So yeah, it was very like methodical, and like players are just fast and strong and smart and technical. It was a great experience. And then I mean, I got to play versus Costa Rica, and they had the same players that they have now: Joe Campbell, Brian Ruiz, and a bunch of the players. And yeah, I mean,
You
it
got
was a
to play
great
against
experience.
Argentina, no?
Argentina, yeah, that was a few years later. I got to play Argentina.
Bro, that's the hardest pick you have against Di Maria. Hardest pick, bro. That's
Bro, I love it. I'm not
bro.
changing
I'm
that
gonna tell my
number.
kids that's me.
I know, dude. So sick, man. Yeah, Argentina, Spain, Ivory Coast, Colombia, Chile. Bro, it's
Man, so
just
look, let me tell you about that. That shows you, bro. Again, back to my point, bro. You're killing it at the not at the club level, at the international level, bro. So why are you getting a trial here? Why are you buzzing in American soccer? That's what I really don't
I know,
understand,
man.
bro. And shout out to El Salvador for giving you that platform, bro. Because I, you know, from outside looking in, I'm like, you know, whether my boy is playing the USL, to me that was kind of like second. You were face of the national team, so to me that guy's killing it.
Yeah.
But you know, what was your thinking like? You know, through that time, did you think you were gonna go to the MLS and that was gonna kind of gonna springboard you on?
Yeah, so I mean, my goal is always play in the MLS. And I thought, you know, after doing well in Atlanta, doing well in San Antonio, playing a bunch of games with the national team, getting like Gold Cup games, World Cup qualifier games, I'm like, okay, you know, at least I can get like a tryout. You know, I
Yeah,
got a tryout actually before I went to San Antonio. I didn't get signed, but then I was like, okay, you know, whatever. I'm sure I'll get another tryout somewhere.
yeah,
And honestly, dude, to this day, I don't know why I haven't been given the opportunity. I don't know if like somehow I fall out of the radar of people. I mean, I have worked with agents where they contact MLS teams and like, oh yeah, we know who he is and he's a good player, but you know, there's always a but,
yeah,
and then they never jump the gun and like come in like, all right, let's give him a shot. You know,
yeah.
honestly, I don't know what it is. It's yeah,
It's frustrating, bro, because
Yeah, it is.
for young up and coming kids, it's also goes to show you again, there's no direct pipeline. Like I bet you, well, the coldest stuff Mike Randolph said in his interview, bro. He said, "I have." He's like, if my name were to be Mike Randolph Dino, my checks would be fat. I would get the respect in the league. I feel like if because you played in the USL, but if the same player played D2 in Germany or something, that player will get more respect and will get more
Yeah,
chances than you.
yeah,
And that's what's hurtful, bro. That's
yeah,
what's not right. That's what's unfair to this game. And it's the
yeah,
cold hard truth. And that's how it is, bro. And
yeah. It's
it's
tough. Yeah, man.
frustrating.
It really is, dude. But it is what it is. And I mean, there's not much else personally I can do other than just keep grinding,
Working.
hope for my chance.
Yeah, man, you'll get your chance, bro. Like I said, you're in your prime, but like I said, I'm not just saying that because I think so. It's like, nah, the way, the style, the player you are. Like I
Yeah,
told Abraham Romero, like, bro, you're 23, you could play 20 plus
yeah,
because of
easy.
the. And he
Yeah,
was like, yeah, like that's what I'm hoping to do. So I'm sure, bro, keep grinding, especially now that you have a child. I'm sure that the universe is
bro.
gonna do it for you, bring it
Yeah,
for you, bro.
yeah, yeah. It's big motivation, man. So, but yeah, man. Going back to the national team games, just seeing the different styles
Mhm.
from each playing against each team. Like Ivory Coast, we played Ivory Coast and then we played Spain. Ivory Coast, they would sit in a block and then they were lightning going forward, dude. I remember the first goal they scored on us, Gervinho, bro. He's so fast, dude.
He's
So
nasty, bro.
fast, dude. So it was a goal kick, right? Our goal kick. And so the ball is played, and the midfielder, his first touch was a through ball to Gervinho. It was like a perfect in stride through ball to Gervinho, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and boom, slots it away.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, holy crap, dude! Like, nowhere have I ever experienced anything like this.
Yeah.
Like, just like the speed of play and like the quickness of the train of thought, just to even like play that ball and like to for both of them to be on the same page,
Yeah.
it was crazy. And then they were very physical players, strong and fast. And then I switch over to we play Spain like within a few
Yeah.
days.
Talk about that, bro. I forgot about that one.
It was like completely different.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you like a quick before the game experience. Like, we're warming up. I'm like, all right, cool. Spain is crazy. Fans are, it's packed. I love
Where
it.
are you guys? Where are you guys playing?
In Maryland.
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 Okay.
Yeah. And then the game's about to start. The whistle hasn't been blown, and I look over to like our side. And I'm like, damn, this is a big field. I'm
Yeah.
like, we're about to do so much running. Like, I shouldn't even have put my cleats on. I probably should have just put my runners because I'm probably not gonna
Yeah.
touch the ball. And yeah, it was different, dude. It was different because in my mind, I'm thinking, they're gonna press really hard. They're gonna zip it on us. But the game was slower, but you can tell it wasn't slower. It was slower in the sense that we weren't running like side to side to side to side so much. It wasn't open. But it was like the ball was zipping, but it was all like tactical. You could see them just thinking and like finding ways to break us down, and finding ways to like expose our fullbacks. I remember Xavi Alonso played a few balls over the top, and I'm thinking, this is Spain. Like, why aren't they trying to play through us? But obviously those players know more than we do. All this because we were trying to like press them a little bit, so all the space wasn't behind. So what they
Yeah.
were doing is they were forcing us to turn our back to our goal, so then they could have more space, like building. Because we were
Yeah.
pressing them at first, but once we saw that they were like trying to play over the top to Pedrito and David Villa, they're freaking lightning
Bro,
guys.
what a roster, by the way. You're throwing these names like they're Sunday league.
um, and yeah, so once we saw that, we had to sit back because they kept pushing us
Yeah.
farther back and farther back. And then that's when they started building, dude. That's when they started touching. And I
That's,
remember I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to close like some of these guys down. You couldn't
yeah.
get anywhere near them, dude. like the best you can do is just cut passing lanes, because there was no
Yeah,
way you were able to like extend your hand and touch them, because they wouldn't let you get near them, because
that's
they
crazy.
they they already had, like, they already knew what they were gonna do with the ball. So
Uh-huh.
you would try to close them down, they boom 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 around and then switch, and then it was just like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna sit back and just try to
Yeah.
contain
But
as much as I can.
as a player, like as much as you want to stay disciplined to the game plan, what do you do at that point, bro? When they're dancing, zipping in like that,
I mean,
crazy.
yeah, I mean, my thought is they do it to all the players in the world. Like this, they had just won the World Cup 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
This was the reigning champs. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I expected to run, so I'm gonna run and I'm gonna
Yeah.
defend. And whenever I have the ball, we're gonna try to do something, right?
Mhm.
But I mean, it was a crazy
What was
experience.
it? What was the final score at that game? Who
Two
scored?
2-0. David Villa, I think, scored twice. Yeah, Cesc Fabregas missed the PK. They gave him a PK early on, and it wasn't a PK. And I remember him telling the referee that it wasn't a PK, and I believe he missed it on purpose.
Stop,
I believe he missed it on purpose, dude.
bro. That's such a Cesc Fabregas. He's legend, gentleman, captain. Wow, that's a dope story,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, because he was like, ref, it wasn't a PK, and we were like, dude, why are you gonna give Spain this free PK? You're
Yeah,
playing against El Salvador. They don't need it, dude.
yeah.
And then sure enough, he's like, yeah, it wasn't a PK, and he like skied it. And I'm
That's
like,
class, bro.
I,
See that these are the stories that people need to
yeah,
hear, bro. These are the stories that they don't give you on Sports Center. Wow,
yeah,
that's so dope, bro.
yeah, he skied it, bro. And I was like, oh, I don't know if he did it on purpose. I believe he did, and
Yeah,
if he did, like,
yeah,
respect
definitely,
for that.
bro.
Yeah.
Man, so let's talk a little bit about Salvadorian players, bro, because
Okay.
aside from us, there being a bunch of talent here in the United States, let's talk a little bit about our country because you've played in our league.
Yep.
After college, I tried to play for Aguila, I tried out for Firpo, but at that time I was just over it. But
Yeah.
the level there is good, bro. Like
It
just
is.
just like it is good here in the USL, the Metapans, the Firpos, the Aguilas, bro. There's some good talent out
Yeah.
there, and not just Salvadorian talent, but like Central American talent.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your experience down there, the level of play, kind of the structure?
Yeah. No, like you said, I think there is talent. There's a bunch of very talented players, clever, very smart, crafty on the ball, skillful, and I think that's mostly like a Salvadorian thing. 'Cause if you compare it to like other countries, just for like Honduras, they get a little bit more physical just because they have like bigger and stronger players. But since most of us are small,
Yeah,
like the only way we know how to play is with the ball on our feet.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's a lot of talented players. I think the only fallback with that is that there's not money being invested
Mhm.
into the league. Just it's in a different way compared to the MLS. But I think in terms of like infrastructure and logistics and just being able to take care of
Mhm.
the player, it's like 20 years behind.
I hear you. That was going to be my next question. What I was going to ask you, what do you think is holding us back? And yeah,
Yeah,
it's funding. The funding, being able to
yeah,
the resources. Like again, we're a small third world country, but to recent news, bro. Like I was talking to you via text. Salvador is up and coming,
yeah,
bro. A lot of, as you know, the Bitcoin thing just happened. That's going to bring
yeah,
a lot of entrepreneurs. A lot of one is going to fix our economy because our
yeah,
economy has been in shambles because we use the dollar. We don't have a national currency. How does
yeah,
that make sense? How people don't have bank accounts? My grandma don't got a
yeah,
bank account. Like how is she
yeah,
supposed to? And we're
yeah,
still getting
facts.
charged. So I feel like with the president we have now, with everything that's going on politically, hopefully, El Salvador becomes a more resourceful country that has the resources to give to the infrastructures. Because I said there's great talent. There is Mago Gonzalez, bro. Mágico Gonzalez. There's you. There's Ronald Cerrito. There's Raúl Díaz Arce. Like these are players.
Cienfuegos, bro.
Mauricio Cienfuegos. These are generational talent, and it goes to show you that if we were to have the funding, if we were to have the right infrastructure as a country, but we could, eventually be like the Costa Ricas and the
Yeah.
Mexicos. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think we're too far away from it. I
No.
think I think the league is doing better, as far as like corruption and all of that, a lot of politics we can get into. But
Yeah.
for me, bro, I'll still wear these colors. I'll
Yeah.
still try to, when I go to, El Salvador visit, I'll go to these games because it's lit. The culture
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah.
People
People
live
live and die for their teams, man.
exactly,
La
bro.
Selecta, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that's all a nation needs. Belief like that, culture like that, to be, again, to have that hope and that promise, that slim chance that one day we'll beat Brazil, or that we'll
Yeah.
go to the World Cup. So I love my country, bro. I love our country. I really have faith in our country. And yeah, like I'm glad you're not only were you able to have a stellar career, or able to have a stellar career with the national team, but you also went and played there.
Yeah.
So how was your time with Aguila? How was, your time there?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I picked up 2 injuries while I was there. So
Uh,
they have the season runs like every 6 months. The first season, I picked up a knee injury in my second game actually, and I missed I would say at least half the tournament. I jumped and I kind of got bumped in the air, and then I landed wrong, and then I like tore like a meniscus. But luckily, I didn't need surgery.
oh,
And then the second season, I tore my hamstring during practice, like a slight tear, just because we were like doing set pieces, and then the coach was like, "All right, Richard, run this set piece," and he wanted me to go like 100 miles per hour because he's Argentinian,
uh,
and they're crazy like that. And
yeah,
I was cold, and I wasn't even like warm, and I
yeah,
wasn't about to like get yelled at by him, so I did full
yeah,
100, and then boom, I felt like a little pop.
man.
But when I was playing, I thought for the most part, I did well. Towards like before COVID and all that hit, I was doing really well. I had recovered from my hamstring injury, and I started doing really well. And I thought maybe I would have gotten another call up from the national team,
Yeah.
but then COVID hit and it stopped everything. But I mean, I was in Aguila, I was in San Miguel. It was crazy hot there. We would train at the stadium, and like I said, the field is I mean, you can find a better field like if you go to a park here anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Um,
I
and
played on that field, bro. You have to over hit your pass. You have to shoot your passes, bro, because the grass is this
yeah,
high.
yeah, and you have to take like extra focus before the ball touches your feet, because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise it might pop and then you won't. But I can't tell you how many times I tried to pass it to my fullback, and he's like looking up receiving, and it hits like a rock or something, because there's rocks everywhere.
Yeah.
It hits it and it goes over the foot, and then everyone's like starts whistling, and like he's like, oh man, these guys are supposed to be professional soccer players,
Yeah.
like they can't even trap a ball. That's not it, honestly,
It's the
that's not it.
conditions, bro.
Yeah. I think if we were to have at least 3 good stadiums that the all the teams played in,
Mhm.
like El Cusca, one in like San Miguel, for example, because
Mhm.
it's so far, and maybe like somewhere in the middle, and like maybe teams share the stadium, but
Mhm.
like
Oh,
top
that's a good
class,
point, bro. That's a good point.
top class facilities where you can train and like you can play. I think it would help a lot, because I think once uh you know like CONCACAF Champions League comes, or like national team games come, we're so used to playing at a slow rate with the ball and like the bumps, that
Uh,
once the ball starts zipping,
we're not used to it.
we're not
Yeah.
used to it. And if you notice, at like higher levels, players aren't getting closed down as hard. It's more like sort of like keep
Yeah.
your shape first.
Yeah.
But if you watch Salvador, like CONCACAF Champions League, they try to close you down. El Salvador does. They have that. We have the energy, and we could run
Yeah.
for
My
years.
my let's point out CONCACAF champion is a cutthroat league, bro. It's baby Libertadores. So
Yeah, low
I
key.
know the players we can compete. So
Yeah,
I like that you bring that up because yeah, our domestic league and our domestic level may not be the best, but the Metapans, the FAS, that we'll give a battle to these
yeah,
teams,
yeah,
So very good point about the CONCACAF. And and also the facility thing, bro. That's really, really, really eye-opening for me, because some of these clubs are small. If we were to able, just like they do it here, bro, the Lakers and the Clippers use the same
Yeah,
facility.
yeah,
LAFC, no, Chivas, whatever.
yeah,
So yeah, that would be a better structure for our league, man.
yeah.
That's a very
Because
good point.
I was watching Aguila play versus Saprissa, because I was with them when I was with Aguila. They had won the year before, so they got into the CONCACAF Champions League, and we played Saprissa. But that's when I got injured, so I wasn't able to travel.
Yeah,
And I was watching the game, and we had a bunch of energy, and
yeah,
we would try to, but the field was so big. We would try to close them down. They would just play 1-2 touch, and then boom, just break us down. Instead of just like, you want to, obviously you want to show that you're aggressive, and then you want to like,
yeah,
defend your team and your colors, whatever. But there's a way of doing that,
yeah,
and I think that was like the biggest like, eye opener for me, just because we would just get played around,
yeah,
just boom, 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 and instead of just like being compact and like waiting for the right moment to try to win the ball and forcing them into tight areas. But it was just like kind of with like a chicken without their heads, just kind of like running everywhere, and
yeah,
it was a mess. And I think having good facilities, like big, like proper size fields, because you go to like what's this team called, Once Municipal, their fields are like tiny, dude. They're
yeah,
tiny, tiny little fields, and I think the only like big stadium would be El Cusca, but the Cusca grass is, I mean, it's okay, it's playable, but it could be better.
yeah.
And I think if we have, like I said, 3 stadiums that all teams shared, it would raise the game so much. It was
Man,
raise the level.
yeah. It's crazy that it's small things, just like a facility or the right atmosphere, or just even the right just like pitch can make our, those are the things that are holding us back. It's not that we don't have the talent, it's not
Yeah,
that we don't good, it's just like our infrastructure is worse than here in the
yeah,
US.
yeah,
Man, no, that's very eye-opening. And I know we've talked a lot, and remember, I feel like there's we've covered a lot right now, and I feel like there's so much we can dive into. So I plan to come to California next month, bro. And obviously, we've covered a lot here, and I want to get in person with you. Obviously,
yeah,
just dive in more on the USL, more in conditions like the ones you were bringing up, because I've never heard of this. I've never
yeah,
like, oh, like that's why we're not really good, because of that. It's
yeah.
small stuff like that. I feel like people don't know. So
No,
clearly,
no,
yeah, man, I feel like, yeah, you're bringing a lot of good points, and I want to ask more questions and dive into it, but clearly we've been talking for a while.
yeah,
So if it's cool with you, part two would be dope.
yeah. I'm
um
down. I'm down.
oh, man, we hear a lot of people tell us, in the US that we're growing in America. Some people bash us, some people tell us we don't have an identity, some people tell us we have no culture, but no one tells us what exactly culture is, or how do we build culture. Like, from your journey and your experience, what is this word, and like, how do we build it? How do we get more culture? What's our culture here in the US?
Yeah, I think culture comes a lot from like little cities, right? So you can't compare, LA and like New York and say it's the same thing. It's there's different people, there's different, experiences, different weather, whatever, and I think in order to do that, it needs to be like a local thing. So if we want
Mm,
Galaxy and LAFC, and as a fan, we need to demand, certain things. And I think culture, it means fans being more demanding of their players. And because I think, like we said, with promotion, there's no promotion, there's no
mhm,
relegation.
mhm.
um you know a lot of the players and a lot of the teams just kind of get away with like not being not performing, not
Yeah,
being successful.
yeah,
And I
and
think one, we need promotion relegation. I think that would help a lot. And then two, just demanding more of players, and just kind of uh, adopting like the area around you. I think LFC has done like a good job. I know you're a Galaxy fan,
mhm,
but they've tried to reach out to the people from LA and
mhm,
not like the surrounding areas. Like it's
mhm,
more like downtown LA, and
mhm,
they build a good like atmosphere in there. And I
mhm.
think they've done a good job there. But culture, soccer wise, like if you're in a team building culture, I think it has to do more with, just demanding more of your team, even though you're not really playing for anything.
I
Yeah.
think we have to give people. You're right. We have to give not just the players, but we have to put the fans first, bro. We have
Yeah.
to give them la esperanza, like we give them hope, give them faith. And also I feel like we have to, as fans, yeah, we have to demand we have the right to demand these things, because we are filling up the things, we are buying the merch, we are going to the bars, we're actually supporting. But like you said, good point about LAFC. I'm an LA Galaxy fan, but the experience for LAFC is so much better because it's in downtown. Your fans are lit. You can pregame, you can go on the subway, and
Hmm.
that's back to what
It's
you were
like a
saying.
whole experience.
And it's all local. What you said at the
Yeah.
beginning is all local. And like I feel like LA and New York, these are big cities, but we also have to give the Glendale some love, the Monterey Park, the
Yeah.
Silver Lake. They have to have teams. And
Yeah.
again, if they were all connected and there was a regulation, blah blah blah, the Silver Lake team would have that, that slim chance to maybe beat LAFC one day.
Yeah.
So it all starts with community, bro.
Exactly. Yeah.
I agree with you that maybe culture doesn't start with soccer first. It starts with community. It starts with building just yeah, something to play for, and giving the community and the players and everybody something to play for. All rules,
Yeah.
that's a community. Let me ask you, where do you think realistically US soccer is going to be in the next 2 years, next 2 to 3 years? Because we have the World Cup next year, and we have other big tournaments, the Gold Cup, Copa America, and stuff like that. Where do you think realistically we're going to be in 2 3 years?
I think definitely qualify for the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they have another showing like they did last World Cup qualifying, then
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the country's gonna go on fire or something. It's unheard of for the U.S. not to qualify for a World Cup.
Yeah.
But I think the team's good. It's young. A lot of them are in like Champions League playing teams, and I think they could be competitive. But will they win like major tournaments? I don't think it's just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Even if like the Pulisic and the Gio
Mm-hmm.
Reynas, and even if they're at their prime, I think we're still years behind the Brazils, the Spains, the
Mm-hmm.
Argentinas.
No.
I think we'll be competitive, but definitely won't be winning anything.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I agree with you. As much as I want us to be a powerhouse, I feel like it's unrealistic maybe in the next 2 3 years. But what hurts me the most of what you said, and it's the truth, is that yeah, we may win some tournaments, but it's not consistent. The US soccer has never been a generation. Yeah, and we've never had generational success. And that's something that I don't see changing. I don't see us, yeah, we may be good with this group, with this Pulisic group, but are we going to be good after
Yeah.
his
Are
generation?
we, yeah, are we
You know,
developing more Pulisic's?
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. But so this is the cold hard truth that, as much as I want to end the podcast on a positive note, and I want you to tell me that, yeah, we're going to win and back to back, like, nah,
Yeah.
but it's the truth, and the truth is hard. But at the end of the day, bro, we're the US, we're US soccer. We have the talent. We just have to put money away, bro, put greed to the side. And I know it's hard to convince people to turn against money. But again, it's
Yeah.
just like, it's not turning against money. It's just doing business the right way,
Yeah.
growing the sport, elevating the sport. And I feel like it's going to be tough to change those people's opinions and change the system. But, you know, for someone with such a great career like yours, I can say that the system has failed you, bro. It's failed both of us. And
Yeah.
it's the hard truth. As much as, yeah, you went on to play the pros, you played on with the national team, bro, but the system still is not giving you and players like you the opportunity. So soccer is not growing in America. So we can't pat ourselves on the back and be like, hey, good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are the conversations I want to have, and obviously you're more qualified to talk than me about the sport. So thank you for your time, bro. A lot of knowledge was shared. And like I said, man, like there's so much other things I want to ask you, but I feel like we have to
Yeah, we
sit this and
could.
digest this one because we could talk on for days. You know, like I
Yeah,
said,
facts.
I'm gonna be in LA next month, and I hope to get you
Okay.
face to face. You know,
Yeah,
so
sounds good to me. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So any final thoughts? Some people that you might want to see on the podcast who you think that have a lot to
Well,
say.
I mean, I can get some of the like American-born Salvadorian
Hmm.
players.
Yes, bro. Like,
I can reach out. I know Gerson said he was down. I can get like Derby Carrillo, Dustin. I can ask them
yeah, man.
if they'd be down, and yeah, I can let
That
you know.
that'll be dope, man. That just because I like I said, like even though we've grown in the American system, I definitely want to help the motherland. I want to
Yeah,
talk to players about their experience. I want to inspire not just Salvadorian American, but I want to inspire those Salvadorian kids.
yeah, facts.
So I thank you. Yeah, I feel like your network is amazing, and I feel like I want to keep talking to Salvadorian players, bro, because we all we got, and
Yeah,
I feel like we're not gonna get change if it doesn't come from us. So yeah, man,
yeah,
I look forward to talking to you. I look forward to seeing you next month, bro. Thank you for
yeah,
your time, bro.
yeah. Thanks
Blessings
for
to
having me.
your wife, blessings to your family, to your son, bro. Thanks
Thank you.
again, bro.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
This
Yes.
is Richi Menjivar, Salvadorian
Yeah.
legend, national team, just an all around good dude. Thank you, bro. Peace out,
All right, man.
my
Appreciate you.
man.